love having guests on my show. Every Sunday there's gonna be someone here that I might be meeting for the first time, or I might know. But these three people, I think I met one at the Brunner Brothers show, but the other two I'm meeting for the first time, and I'm looking forward to the conversation that we're gonna have. It's an open forum. We're gonna talk. I got some questions that I'm gonna toss out to my guest. But if you have questions, or if you want to answer some of the questions as well, you can. 404-892-2703. 404-892-2703. So let me introduce my guest. My first guest, been married 2 times.
Yes.
Been in Atlanta for 18 years and worked in facilities management. Have a 25-year-old daughter. You look 25. A veteran of the USCG. What is that? And I welcome Cam Humphrey. How you doing, Cam?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you for having me today.
What is USCG?
United States Coast Guard.
Okay, all right. I'm not familiar. I'm familiar, but I just wasn't familiar with the acronym here. My next guest is actually the mother of Cam. She is 60 years old, who was with her husband for 38 years. They've been separated for 4 years, 4 years ago, but for good. They have not divorced yet. Technically, we are still married, so it would be 42 years. She has 2 daughters, of which one is here, and a granddaughter. She's worked in a hospital setting as a core technician and worked in the operating room for 20 years. Been in Georgia for almost 11 years, originally from New York, lived overseas for 9 years, military ex-wife. Want to welcome Sylvia. Hey, Sylvia.
Hello, how are you?
Fantastic, fantastic. And my third panel of guests is King Kevin. Say that last name again.
King Kevin Dorival in the building, baby.
King Kevin Dorival. He's given me my tutoring lesson, and then it just escaped me before I started talking. He's an author, mentor, filmmaker, and power speaker. He's the author of The Courage to Believe, Never Give Up. I'm going to call him for the rest of the day King Kevin. Welcome.
Blessings.
How you doing?
Oh, it's a good day to be alive.
How all of you all doing?
Good.
How you
Great.
doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I got a chance to see one of my favorite artists last night. Well, I saw 3 of my favorite artists, but one I had never met, which was Gregory Porter, and he performed last night, and I got a chance to meet him. So can't nobody upset me today. No matter what you. Then I went to church, so you know I'm covered.
All right. Amen to that.
So it's all good. It's an open forum, so we're going to throw some questions out to my guest, and if you want to answer these questions, you can. 404-892-2703. But first, I got to get a little personal with Sylvia.
Okay.
I'm going to look you dead in your face. I'm going to get a little personal and ask, after 38 years of marriage, separated for 4, and you yet have divorce, why?
Why I haven't divorced?
Mm-hmm.
No special reason, just haven't gotten around to it yet. I don't know why. I just don't feel the need for it just yet, because I haven't gotten really back into the dating scene. And I guess when I really pull myself into that, I probably will do it.
But do you feel like the relationship is done?
Oh, most definitely. It's been done a long time.
So
it's just hanging in there.
Yeah, but to wait until someone else comes around to put a period on it is what is the reason that intrigues me to ask you that question. Why?
Well, not so much someone coming around when I really get into I do want to get into dating now. I just have to end one to begin another one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm close to it.
Okay.
It's just something personal for me, feeling it, for a long time. It's hard,
Yeah. I hope not to ever experience that, but
oh, no,
I understand.
Yeah.
404-892-2703, 404-892-2703. So around the table, Sean, my producer, he always got these questions. Always. And I love him for it. And he's the one that actually brought this first question to me, because he says it's an experience that he is a part of right now. So, Sean, who best to talk about it?
Me?
Yeah, that'd be you.
Right. So I'm in a current situation with a lovely lady, and she has a daughter who happens to be 12 years old. And I've never seen her daughter face to face in person before, but she told me a lot of wonderful things about this particular person, her daughter. And so she told me recently that she will wait for me to see her daughter in about a year from now. So 1 year, see how everything works out, and then after that year, decide whether it would be a good time to actually finally meet the daughter for the first time or not. So the question is, when is it a good time for a single parent to introduce their children to the person they are dating?
Let me reel it back. How long have you been dating?
We've been dating for over about a month now. About a month.
Okay.
About a month and a week.
And so you got 11 more.
Yeah.
11 more if you're still with her before you see the child,
Right.
according to her.
According to her. That's correct.
Around the table.
I think that's
Is she
great.
fair?
Yeah, very
Yes.
fair.
Yes.
Very fair.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, but anyway.
I say
Why,
she's fair
Karen?
because I'm a single parent. I was a single parent, and I didn't introduce my daughter to anyone until I knew I was sure. And the longer I took, the more it might have meant that I'd liked that gentleman, wanted to be with him long term, saw a future with him. So maybe she's just trying to vet to make sure that you're the one. Maybe she really likes you. But I was very protective of my daughter. She didn't meet a lot of gentlemen I dated. She just didn't.
I mean, I think date 1 or 2, date 3, 4, 5, I understand that. Even date 20, you know, if it's over a 3-4 month period. But you know, if it's something that helps you, you know, if you see where it's going in a good direction, why does it take so long? But I still want to get back to Sylvia as well as King Kevin on their reasons why.
Well, because same thing, I agree with what Camby said, because you
Okay,
have
you
to
can't
see-
have that mama-daughter group.
No, because I feel
Agreeing
the same way. I feel the same way. You don't date it, your children don't meet everybody you date. So about a year, you have worked out what things didn't work for y'all, if you are going to get along or not. And that's when you can bring him into a relationship with, sorry.
No, you're good. So if you had you prepared dinner, King Kevin. If you prepared dinner and your child is there, you keep them in the room? If your date comes over?
You make arrangements for them to not be there so you can have that privacy, that intimacy. You just go, by all means, protect your child. Not to say that that person is bad, but you just really don't want to introduce your child to someone that it may not work out. And if you're with someone for a year, you can work out those things, and then you know for sure that that person is going to be a positive influence on your child.
King Kevin.
Oh, definitely. I agree. Maybe the year is a bit extensive. At least 6 months or maybe 8 months, something like that. I've had many women try to impose their children on me, like first date or the first week of talking to each other, and I'm like, I'm not comfortable with that. One, I don't know how far we're gonna go, whether we're just talking or being friends, or if we're actually gonna be in a committed relationship. So, but once you understand, and for all women, listen to the show. Once you do your research on a guy, make sure he has no sexual, cases on his record and things of that nature. He's not abusive to children. Then you can consider at some point in time introducing him to your children, but don't do it too early. I just think some just do it way too early.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in making sure that he or she is appropriate.
Correct.
I'm a firm believer in that. But for someone, if I was in the single realm and I was dating and I knew that they had family, if you waited 12 months for that, then I think that you feel some way towards me.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I'll answer that again when I come back. 404-892-2703. I want to hear from you. So, what is the good time for a single parent to introduce their children to the person they are dating? What's your thoughts? 404-892-2703.
Follow us on Twitter at Love and Relations Show.
I like those questions, by the way. Like, there were some real good questions that were emailed to us.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Because see, my husband had 2 kids
Okay.
when he and I married. When he and I met. And I think we were about 4 months in.
Okay.
And that's when I met him. because that was gonna be my other question, does it differ from a man to a woman?
Right, yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I think it would, for some men. Like he said, they tried to throw it on him, throw their children on him quickly.
yeah.
Quick.
That's really like, no.
But see, but the thing was, ours happened because we were going to like a big family outing. I think it was Thanksgiving, maybe. Because I met him in August, and at Thanksgiving, we were at his mother's, and so I'm gonna be there. And so we know that the kids were gonna be there as well. And so, you know, prior to Thanksgiving, so they wouldn't be like, so you are, you know, then we had the introduction. You know, and that was about from August. What is that? August, September, October, about 4 months.
Yeah.
And I'm still there.
Sounds about right.
It worked out great for you, because it works out great for some and for others it doesn't.
Yeah.
The age of the
But
child
I,
is a-
Yeah, the age
Yeah.
has a lot to do with it too. When they're older, I guess
his
it's,
was 3 and 7. Wow. Son was 7, and daughter was 3. Now the mother was funky.
I can
I'm
imagine
not
she
sure.
was. Yeah, I mean,
Now I wanted the daughter in our wedding. She wasn't.
oh, wow.
Oh, that's
Oh,
awful.
yeah, yeah.
It was.
I mean, because you have to make it a unit now.
Yeah. But I mean, it. You know. Now, then it upset the daughter. Because by then she knew that her father was marrying me, but the mom just wouldn't let her participate. And so it created a little unrest between the daughter and the mother.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I bet she didn't plan on that.
No, she really didn't. She didn't. But of course, that was 25 years ago. Everybody get over it.
So are you getting along with the mother now?
I actually don't see her.
Still, okay.
I mean, his daughter is 32.
Oh,
Yeah. So we don't have a reason, but after that occurrence, and we were very active parents. You know, if he could make, you know, PTAs or recitals and things like that, then I would go in his stead. So
teamwork.
yeah.
Would the mothers also be there?
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all just wouldn't sit together.
I'd be on the other side.
Yeah, that's understandable. For, you know, depend on.
But we never argued or anything like that. I think she realized the mistake that she made because she was in her feelings.
Right.
You know, it had nothing to do with, you know, dislike or anything like. It was just, you know, this is. He was actually her ex-husband as well, and so, you know, she thought one day this union will come back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
she told
Okay,
that.
so that's why she was
told
that way,
that
okay.
to his mother. So she had to finally let it go. And see, I'm not a confrontational person, and I'm not gonna argue with you long.
30 seconds.
Matter of fact, I'm not gonna too much argue at all.
Okay.
I'm just never have. I will discuss it, but I'm not gonna argue with you.
Right.
So it all worked out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, 'cause you can't make nobody be with you who don't want to be with you.
No. Are you live or are you just recording?
It's recorded.
Okay.
I could go live.
This message presented by the Georgia High School Association and the Georgia Athletic
That was personal conversation, so in this
Oops.
room.
So I need to stop that one there, huh?
Delete it.
I won't post that one.
Delete that, please.
All right.
WAOK. It's an open forum, and I want to welcome my guest again, Cam Humphrey, Sylvia, and King Kevin. They are all here being open and being honest. Now, how far they go in is on them. But I left asking this question. If your spouse or mate is handicapped, paralyzed, disabled, or is unable to sexually perform in the bedroom, would you stay in the relationship or leave to be with someone else? If you are willing to stay, will your partner's misfortune cause you to cheat outside of the relationship? And here's another question that actually came from Sean. And he's on the phone. But Sean, he helped to generate this question. And my thing is, I think I'd be more open to it, to saying to my partner, if it was me, say I'm the one that was unable, I think I'll be more open, being the person that I am, to say, look here,
Yes.
I know how you are.
Yes, yes.
I know the type of person you are. And I know this is not going to work well for you. Then I would be in a better place. You know what I'm saying? Mentally.
Yes.
That's just me. But Sean, I did want you to, explain that. Here go another question. You in the middle of.
Okay. So we were talking off air, and I met this woman. This was a few years ago. I was dating this one young lady, and she told me that she wanted to wait to have sex until she gets married, until she walks down that aisle. And so she pretty much said that, I want to wait until it's the right time, but I have to take into consideration that I may come across that person that could be a potential husband to me, and he may get into an accident. Life happens, things happen. He may get into an accident to where he ends up handicapped, and he may not be able to perform or do all the physical things that we would like to do with each other. So I have to take that into account. And I've heard stories like that before.
So when she said she had to take it into account, is this prior to marriage, or that's why she's remaining celibate until she married?
That's prior to marriage.
I'm not understanding. Because my thing is I don't know about my panel and that, and they can chime in on it. That isn't something that I thought about. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just something that if you are faced with it, then you come, with the conversation. I mean, luckily after 31 years and 25 in marriage, we haven't had to face that other than knee surgery and hip surgery, and them 12 weeks was tough. But we made it work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So would you have the conversation up front?
No, I don't think, like you said, it's not something you think about. It's kind of something that happens to you, and then you're presented with the situation, and then you talk about it. But at the end of the day, whatever you decide, it has to be something that you and your mate, makes you all happy, you all are comfortable with.
So are any of you okay with it? I mean, okay, I'm not okay with the cheating part. That part I'm not.
Right.
No, not cheating.
I'm totally against that. But I am okay with the conversation.
Coming up with an agreement, an understanding, between you and your husband. I can't perform in this way. I know you have these needs, so I'm allowing you to do this. I don't necessarily want to be part of the process or know that it's happening, but you have to be realistic about the situation.
I'm going to go to the phones. Sade out of Queens, New York. Hey. Fantastic. I hear you are the daughter of Sylvia as well. Well, thank you for streaming us, and thank you for listening. So what is your comment then? But I think a good couple who have had great conversation in their relationship, and I can say that for mine, I think you do talk about sex, but you don't talk about something that you don't want to ever happen. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
I agree.
you know, I don't ever want my husband to be paralyzed. I don't ever want that to happen. So
Mhm.
that isn't something I think that, well, I know for sure that he and I hadn't talked about it. And I tell you when it did come up. There was a movie, Perfect Strangers, that came on Lifetime one time. And she was much younger than her husband. He had a stroke. Of course, he became paralyzed. And she met younger man, started fooling around. And then the husband found out, and he met the man, and they had the conversation, and he was okay with it. And so it all worked out in the end. So I think that if you come up in a situation like that, why don't you just outright have the conversation in the beginning when you know you are no longer gonna be able to perform that act again?
Yeah, when the situation occurs, yeah, talk about it, but don't talk about it beforehand because you don't want to speak that to existence. You know what I'm saying? And most couples, you know, like I said before, if she's real or he's real, you know you can't perform. You know your companion is, you know, likes it certain ways and a certain amount of times. So you know they're going to go out and cheat. So you might as well have that conversation to prepare yourself and just, you know, allow them to go ahead out and do what they're going to do, but with certain requirements or certain standards. One, make sure that the woman doesn't have any STDs, not just sexually transmitted diseases, but sexually transmitted demons as well, because that's something that we allow into our homes are these demons from other people, from their past relationships and sexual experiences. And so when you get into another relationship, you expose your mate to that whole other, you know what I'm saying, realm of, like, you know, demonic. That's a whole other conversation. So we'll talk about it another time. But what I'm saying is definitely you want to have that conversation, prepare yourself, just be real about it. You know what I mean? You know your man likes, you know what I mean, he likes a certain type of woman, which is you, and he can no longer enjoy you on that level. So allow him to go ahead and find someone else to be able to please him so he can, you know, be relaxed and calm like most men like to be.
Y'all looking at King Kevin over here like
They about to eat me.
So,
Right, because I was going to say that
Yeah.
also, and women.
Hey, you got to respect it. I said if the man and woman are real, you just, you know what I'm saying, being realistic is what I meant.
I mean, the bottom line is you got to put it on the table.
You do. You have to have that discussion, and you have to come up with a compromise that makes everyone in the situation happy. Everyone has to be able to live with the compromise that's made. You can't have one person happy, then the one person that's not, then the relationship doesn't flourish. But I don't know, I just think it would be really difficult.
Tell me something. Would you want to know the person?
No, I wouldn't want to know the person. I wouldn't want to know when it would happen. Me personally, I would want to be kept in the dark. I know that might sound crazy, but I just wouldn't want to know.
Yeah.
I would do my best to understand because I understand desires and needs, but I just wouldn't want to know.
Me either.
No,
Yeah. And then do it when you know, supposed to be working.
In the street. I don't want to know that you're out doing it.
Hello,
Yeah.
you
I
can't do
respect
it on a
that.
Friday, Saturday night when, you know, I
You're supposed to be
mean,
home with me,
when you're
yeah.
supposed to be home. So, you know, that's, I you know, the person who's open in me will be open to the conversation and the action.
Yes.
But the person who's like, you know, feel funny about things, I just wouldn't want to know. I wouldn't want to know the person. I wouldn't want to know when it goes down.
I wouldn't want to know it either.
Huh?
As a man, I wouldn't want to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. Men are very, you know, our egos are big, so we don't want to know another man is hitting our wife in the back. No, we don't want to.
Ooh,
We don't
you
want to know
said
that.
that. Ooh.
I'm sorry.
women are the same way.
Women don't want to
saying.
see that either.
Yeah, we don't
want
wanna
that
see
visual.
it.
They
We don't
don't
want
want
that.
that. We want to
We
be
don't wanna know
protected
that.
as well.
Yeah.
I would want to be protected in the situation.
So then what happens then if whoever that person is and they be around because you no longer can perform
Right.
and they say, I love you both.
Oh, well, I don't know about that.
I knew that'd throw you off. We'll be back.
I
I love you both now.
It happens.
That's why you don't want to meet them.
It
Huh?
happens.
That's why you don't want to know that
That's
person.
what, yeah.
I love you
But
both.
what if he or she says it, like you know, I've been seeing
Oh,
her.
you talking about your partner
That's
says
it.
it.
That's
too.
kind of
Right.
inevitable, you know.
Yeah,
That has to
I've
be
been
part of that
seeing her.
discussion. You know what
Yeah.
happens. You know, because you don't get
And-
intimate with someone.
And
you
although
don't-
you don't know her, but you know, because I would want him to find someone that's damn near close to me.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow.
But then you're inviting that, for him to fall in love with someone else. You want someone
So then I
similar
need
to
to
you.
get someone total opposite that just, he just,
I mean, because depends on what your life expectancy, how long you're gonna live.
yeah.
If you're not gonna live a long time, sure.
But
you
then,
know,
but
find
then,
someone close
yeah,
to
but
you.
then I'll be okay with, then he's finding someone that's pretty much like me.
But he might leave you then.
You don't want
Because
that.
she's capable of doing anything
Yeah,
that
she
he
wants
wants.
like you might leave, I guess.
Right, yeah, because she's a lot like you.
Then I'm gonna find one of them persons to go out and take care of that.
It's funny.
Because I gave you
Instagram,
permission.
Right,
And I gave you permission for an act,
right.
not for,
Ask what's in
you know, for you to leave me because this person is doing just one thing that I couldn't.
But there's always a potential that person, he might fall in love with
So
that
then now we
individual.
go back to you can't even do nothing at
Is
all.
that
Right.
one thing turned into?
That's why it's so hard.
Yeah.
To say, yes, you can do this. You know, you're gonna ask him, please try not to fall in love.
Yeah,
But some people
yeah.
do.
Well, some folks do.
Yeah.
I think it would be more like a barter system. You can go do that. Just make sure I'm taken care of. You know, don't put me in a home. Make sure I'm comfortable. You
Yeah,
know,
that's reasonable.
Yeah, but
protect me. Make
but
sure
if he
I'm,
falls
you know,
in love with the individual, she's gonna want him
Yeah,
all
but
the
y'all
time.
need to make sure I get
So-
my room stays there. She move in, I'm over
But
here.
then now
you know, give me a
now you
caregiver.
can't help but make
So-
get an intimate relationship with her also.
I guess.
If
That's
she
fine.
moves in, so you need to move into your own place. He just needs to come check on you.
Nah,
Is that what you're saying? If he
don't
falls
know.
in love with her and goes off with her, see that's why it's so hard to say yes. You're being selfish if you don't. I understand that, but you're also being selfish if you say yes because it's the chance that he's going to leave you or she's going to leave you.
True.
But I think if the sincerity is there, I think he will not or she will not.
Or let him have multiple partners. That way he don't fall in love with one
He said, well, you
individual.
just too much now.
I'm just saying, because that way it's no one individual, because you can't help but develop a relationship with one
With
individual
somebody that you talk to or see often.
regularly. Yes,
Yeah. You know,
yes,
especially if they're serving a need.
yes. So it's hard. I mean, it's not like he's going to pass it on to you, because y'all not doing nothing sexually anymore.
But if you don't say yes to that, they're gonna cheat.
Then
That's
yes,
inevitable.
right.
Yeah,
So it's
of
either you
course.
have to accept it up front or you're gonna have to accept it.
You're gonna have to
It's true.
accept it.
No, it's true. I know.
And you're gonna have to tell them, look, you cannot leave me. You know,
Right.
I'm serious. And he has to help reassure
Because it's
that.
not only not just now you cannot just not perform sexually. You can't go anywhere. You know, you're stuck home. You know, you can go out, but you got all this stuff you got to go through to go out. That's why I say I'd have to be in this situation to really know what I would and wouldn't do.
Yeah.
I might just leave. Let's
I'm
just separate.
hoping.
Let's just.
I'm just hoping I don't want to.
Then
Because
you'll
I
be
would want
lonely.
the same thing.
I wouldn't want him or her to leave. I wouldn't want him to leave me. I wouldn't.
I wouldn't want that.
Yeah. I wouldn't give you that much of the green light. You still have a responsibility to
Better
me.
for worse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how it's supposed to be.
That's a bad worse though.
Yeah.
That's a serious worse.
Well, just like Butch, his first one, I don't even realize.
That's what she was put in the hospital.
She was put out. She was paralyzed
That's right.
from the neck down. So
That's my uncle. He passed away, but
In relationships on News and Talk 1380 WAOK. Sean, you got to get the mic again. So when she told you that you won't be able to meet her child for a year, what was your reaction?
And you know what? When she had that conversation with me, Joyce, this was the